So Maharaj, we will start in 5 minutes. So I will have Braj Sundar Prabhuji to welcome you and introduce the kickstart this 21 days Bhagavatam, and then we will start from there.
First of all, I want to offer my respectful obeisances unto Hanumat Presak Swami Maharaj. Maharaj, thank you so much for joining us and starting this 21 days reading challenge with us. So, dear devotees, Srimad Bhagavatam is one of the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Srila Prabhupada carried this Srimad Bhagavatam to the West. In fact, he said that Srimad Bhagavatam is carrying me to the West. And with the weapon of this Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada established Krishna consciousness all across the world. So it is our prime duty as a living entity that to hear about Krishna, to read about Krishna, to speak about Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam is the food for soul. So we are starting this 21 days reading challenge for a purpose, and the purpose is that all of us, we are going to get habituated with studying of today. You might be studying on regular basis, very well, very fortunate. But if you're not able to study on regular basis, this is an opportunity wherein all of us together can study on a systematic basis, starting from the Canto 1, Chapter 1 of Srimad Bhagavatam. So how the 21 days reading challenge is going to be is every day we will have a very prominent speaker from across the globe to come and speak the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam to you. And from you, so they're going to speak the glories of Bhagavatam, but from your side, what you have to do is start systematic study of Srimad Bhagavatam from the chapter 1, Canto 1. What we are going to do every day is send you a message of number of verses to be studied per day. So this journey of yours and us of studying Srimad Bhagavatam will go on for 21 days. So within the 21 days, you'll develop a habit of studying Srila Prabhupada's Srimad Bhagavatam with its purpose. And I'm sure, and after that also, after 21 days as well, you will continue that habit. You'll be amazed. In last 2-3 years, we have encouraged more than 20,000 plus students with studying of Srimad Bhagavatam by various reading challenges and marathons across the globe. Just recently in India, we had 21 days reading challenge, just like we're doing now. And we had response from 4,500 students who started studying with us on a regular basis. Similarly, we have been doing this in Russia, in South Africa, and various other countries. Very soon, we are doing this for the African continent, also for the UAE, and also for Russia. So let us join this 21 days reading challenge. Let us take a vow that of making Srimad Bhagavatam as a life and soul, and let us take shelter of Hanumat Presak Swami Maharaj and hear the Bhisma Stuti from him. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Okay. On the behalf of the ISKCON Bhagavad Mahavidyalaya, North America, I'd like to welcome our renowned speaker for today, His Holiness Hanumat Presak Swami Maharaj, who is disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, sannyasi and initiating spiritual master who continuously travel to different parts of the world lecturing on ancient wisdom literature. Founder of Anjana Suta's Academy, through which he develops and teaches various courses, including Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhava. So now I request Maharaj to enlighten us with the today class on Bhishma Stuti. Hare Krishna.
How is our volume? Is it okay?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. We'll use a headset then. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we were trying to present, and of course we want to thank very, very, very much for Vijayalaya to giving us this opportunity. We had some chance to associate with the Mahabhagavad Vijayalaya in Govardhan when we were staying in Radhakund, for about 6 months, 3-4 months. And other of our friends also are associated, and then contacting yourselves here. And we have different projects we're trying to develop. We're trying to develop a North American teacher training college, and hopefully, we'll be able to all cooperate and develop our educational resources. So there's so much opportunity to meet people. So we were trying to focus in on Bhisma Stuti, the prayers by Bhisma Dev, departure of Bhisma Dev, which is Srimad Bhagavatam 1:9-29, and the verses after that. And here's the very, very first verse. So I think if we can just all chant it together, you chant with your microphones closed there, and I'll chant, and we can all come along together. Dharman pravadatastvasya sakala pratyupashtitaha yo yoginas chandamrityor vanchitas tuttarayanaha. While Bhismadev was describing occupational duties, the sun's course ran into the northern hemisphere. This period is desired by mystics who die at their will. Okay. And then we have, if I can get my slide to go ahead here. Okay. Now then we're starting here in Canto 1, makes a good sense, which we're seeing basically as a preface. Okay. And then, of course, the Srimad Bhagavatam is described as the incarnation of Krishna's body. And the first 2 cantos are his lotus feet. The 3rd and 4th canto are his legs, thighs. 5th canto is his waist. 6th is his chest. 7th and 8th are his arms. 9th is his throat. The 10th canto is his face. And the Panchadhyaya Rasa Lila chapters, 29 through 34, are his smile. And then 11 is his forehead, and 12 is his crown. So it's a very, very personal relationship. We were studying these things, and we're studying Krishna in his body. So in this first canto, what we're seeing is a preface. Now, if you look in a Reader's Guide to Literature, you'll see that the preface should include who is the reader of the book. Of course, here we have Maharaj Parikshit, who's in some ways the listener in this audience, generally speaking. And then who is the speaker, and what are their qualifications? So the first canto, we introduced to Sukadeva Goswami. We introduced to Maharaj Parikshit and how he was hearing Bhagavatam before he was even born. And so there's a pretty good perspective that these are not ordinary people. This is not an ordinary class. Okay. Okay. What qualifications are expected of the reader? And so Prabhupada also describes that how we should be approaching the book. The first canto. Under what circumstances was the literature produced? Okay, it's Kali Yuga's coming. More specifically, Krishna has departed to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Swadharma Upagate. So now we need a new incarnation. Maharaj Parikshit has been unjustly cursed, and that's the circumstance. And what is the purpose of the book? To in some ways to fill this gap. Now that Krishna has departed for his own abode, where do religion and jnana dharma visaha, where does knowledge, religion, and mysticism reside? Okay. And so in the first canto, we'll see he says Srimad Bhagavatam. Then in the second canto, Sukadeva Goswami actually starts his preaching. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. The first step in God realization, pantheism, Brahman. Second step, Paramatma, Satchidananda, the Lord in the heart. And the third chapter is pure devotional service, a change in heart. So Maharaj Parikshit says, again. So it goes on like that. They're just going progressively with more intensity. Same things again and again. Same Bhagavad Gita verses are being quoted again and again, the purports. But each time with different perspective, more depth. Hansaduta told us when he was in our yatra, San Francisco, that Prabhupada said, Every single psychological circumstance you can encounter is in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, as we're hearing the story of Daksha, and we can take it to heart because of our austerities and purity, or they're hearing the story of Sukanya and how she's being married to Chaivana Muni, then we take them to heart. Our bhava, our consciousness, our perspective is starting gradually as we're doing this again and again to be to understand those. And then whoever we meet, we'll see, oh, this person's like Daksha, this person like Dhruva Maharaj, this person's like, yeah. And then we can appreciate how they fit into the progressive education of the Bhagavatam. So just by studying Bhagavatam, we can become preachers on the level of Narada Muni, studying the Bhagavatam and applying the principles. And then simultaneously for our own development, we can see, yes, this is my problem. This is my attachment. I'm like this, I'm like that, my circumstance. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the perfect tool for preaching, for becoming self-realized. We have a little time, so we'll add one citation here, one quote. Of course, we initiated Radhika Raman, Prabhu, and there's a lot of association with him then. So when he was at Oxford, studying for his doctorate, Professor Narasimha Rao was brought there by the university to teach their graduate students from time to time. And he was, emeritus professor at the University of Madras, one of the very most respected Sanskritist. And because Radhika was Indian, he was having him, help him get his heater going in his house and talking, and a very, very nice relationship, And he told him, Ravi, it says that the Puranas are very, very proud. They look like stars in the sky, so brilliant, and I'm proud of their qualifications, until the moon of Srimad Bhagavatam comes up. Oh, he's bigger than we are. Yeah. And Dr. Rao was saying, this is not an exaggeration. He was saying, for the beauty of the poetry, for the depth of the philosophy, for the sophistication of the Sanskrit, Srimad Bhagavatam is in a class by itself. Vrindavan Das Thakur says, my only desire is to study Srimad Bhagavatam life after life with Lord Nityananda as my teacher. What is it? It was Gopal Bhatta Goswami reciting again and again, and everybody was listening. Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Srimad Bhagavatam class. So anyway, it's a very, very, everybody, I'm sure, different kinds of people in the audience here, but somehow or other taking the association of the Mahabhagavad Vidyalaya, and ourselves, if you want to do that, and then finding association and then studying. And of course, I'm working with Atul Krishna and the Board of Examinations, which is giving formal diplomas, as Prabhupada wanted. Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Baba, Bhakti Vedanta, Bhakti Sarvabhauma. So this is it, the first canto. There's all these circumstances are described. The Krishna enters Dwarka, Krishna leaves Hastinapur, enters Dwarka, the birth of Maharaj Pariksit, Ashvatthama and Maharaj Pariksit, the disappearance of Dhritarashtra and the Pandavas, and Krishna, the appearance of Maharaj Pariksit. So that's the entire perspective on what's going on, not an ordinary situation. And in this is very, very nice to look at this one spot of Bhisma Dev, because he's a very, very elevated personality. Bhisma Dev is one of the 8, of course, we know one of the 8 Vasus, who was cursed for some time to take birth on earth, which I guess is kind of like spending 30 days in the county jail or something, So, but then it was decided that he would stay. They all had to take birth, other 7, but it was decided he would hang around and finish off the time of everybody else had to take. So when Apsara, I think it was, incarnated as Ganga Devi, so I came and formed an association with the great emperor of the world. He was a mortal, but he was an incredible person, Shantanu. I think it was him. And then he gave birth to one child after another. And she told him, you can't, say anything. I'll marry you, but you cannot say whatever. Don't criticize whatever I do. But after each child was born, she killed them, so they could go back to heaven. So death is many times a good thing. So then when Bhishma was born, the eighth one, he just couldn't keep his mouth shut anymore. And so she again maybe smiled and disappeared. And he reappeared, and she reappeared with Bhishma now. What's his name? Deva Vrata, I think was his name at that point. Very handsome, swarthy young fellow, and very qualified, intelligent, and good character. And he'd been trained by Parasaram Bhargava in heaven. So Shantanu was very happy with this, very happy. But then he fell in love with the daughter of fisherman. I forget her name. Anyway, what is anyway. So, but then to get the marriage to be accomplished, and Bhishma Dev, of course, took this vow that he would not ever want to become king. Okay, but if you don't, even though you don't want to become king, and the fisherman's daughter's children become the kings, still your children will be powerful and they'll defeat my children. So then maybe with a little bit of anger, he said, okay, I take this vow for the gods in heaven, everybody else, I will never marry. And for a Kshatriya, this is terrible, incredible, young man. And so then, of course, the sound Bhishma, horrible, appeared. We have a movie. I was trying to get it up in time on Vimeo so you could all look at it, but it was done by an award-winning director from South America, a very accomplished person. So I'll give our link. But we have very, very excellent. He did very, very excellent presentation of these Bhishma Dev things from South America with some real perspective on them. So we'll try and keep them published. Okay, so let's look at the prayers, and maybe we can try and understand a little bit of the whole ambience in which Srimad Bhagavatam is taking birth, and at least from the character of Bhishma Dev. Okay. Taropasham pratyagira sahasranyayar vimukta sangamana adi purushain Krishne lasat pitapate chaturbhuje purastite milita drig dhyadharayat. Thereupon, that man who spoke on different subjects with thousands of meanings and who fought on thousands of battlefields and protected thousands of men stopped speaking, and being completely freed from all bondage, withdrew his mind from everything else and fixed his wide open eyes upon the original personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who stood before him four-handed, dressed in yellow garments that glittered and shined. By pure meditation, looking at Lord Sri Krishna, he at once was freed from all material inauspiciousness and was relieved of all bodily pains caused by the arrow wounds. Thus, all the external activities of his senses at once stopped. He prayed transcendently to the controller of all living beings while quitting his material body. Vishnudev said, now let me invest my thinking, feeling. Now, feeling, of course, sometimes we think it means emotion, but no, it means acceptance or rejection. You think about something and you think you accept it or reject it. To accept it, for example, either one, either you will for it to go away or senses to act in a certain manner. Let me now invest my thinking, feeling, and willing, which were so long engaged in different subjects and occupational duties in the all-powerful Lord Sri Krishna. He is always self-satisfied, but sometimes being the leader of the devotees, he enjoys transcendental pleasure by descending to the material world, although from him only the world is created. So sometimes the children want to act like mommy and daddy, and they want to have a tea party, and I'll be daddy, I'll be mommy, I'll be aunt so-and-so, I'll be uncle so-and-so, I'll be... And then the parents help them, they create this whole thing, and then they enjoy, kind of seeing what is the children's view of the adult life, and maybe taking some real, stimulation and instruction by seeing how they're seeing it. So as we're playing like this, imitating, Krishna and other things, and for Krishna, it's also, what was said for Krishna is play, for us, it's kind of a reality we're engaged in here. Then, okay, time to finish off the tea party. Let's have some real life. Sri Krishna is the intimate friend of Arjuna. Now, again, he's identifying what is the consciousness. He wants to invest his mind and intelligence in the all-powerful Lord Sri Krishna. This is not Gopi Jana Balaba. This is all-powerful Lord Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna is the intimate friend of Arjuna. Kunti in the last chapter was identifying the same way. How do I know you? You're my nephew. You're so many things, but I really know you because I know Arjuna. He's my son. And Krishna and Bhisma knows Arjuna. Okay, so understanding Krishna as the intimate friend of Arjuna, he has appeared on this earth in his transcendental body, which resembles the bluish color of a tamal tree. His body attracts everyone in the 3 planetary systems. May his glittering yellow dress and his lotus face covered with paintings of sandalwood pulp be the object of my attraction, and may I not desire any fruitive results. Okay, and we're going to go over here. On the battlefield, okay, can I push it a little more? Where Sri Krishna tended Arjuna out of friendship, the flowing hair of Lord Krishna turned ashen due to the dust raised by the hooves of the horses. And because of his labor, beads of sweat wetted his face. All these decorations, intensified by wounds dealt by my sharp arrows, were enjoyed by him, that my mind thus go unto Sri Krishna. And of course, in the purports, Prabhupada explained, this is the Kshatriya Dharma. There's the 5 basic rasas, and this basic rasa is Dasya Ras, as we understand. But the secondary rasas, in this case, virya or heroism, can become so prominent that the fundamental rasa may not even be so visible. But yeah, we know that the building has a foundation. Okay, so it's there. He has his service attitude, but it's just, what do you call it, like a very, very Kshatriya attitude and fighting and all these kind of things. Very, very, very pleasant for people in this mode. And of course, these things may develop right into our Staibab in the spiritual world. In obedience to the command of his friend, Lord Sri Krishna entered the arena of the battlefield of Kurukshetra between the soldiers of Arjuna and Duryodhana. And while there, he shortened the lifespans of the opposite party by his merciful glance. This was done simply by his looking at the enemy, that my mind be fixed upon Lord Sri Krishna. So we're hearing everything, so many perspectives, that everybody, all the soldiers who were fighting there, they were there pretty much out of duty. They weren't involved in the personal conflicts of the royal families so much. And so Prabhupada's explaining that they were looking at Arjuna and Krishna and how they dealt with situations and how they would carry on. And they were becoming more and more absorbed in this bhava. Yeah, that's the way to do it. I have to live up to their standard while I'm engaged in this battle. If my enemy is falling down, I give him a chance to get up. We fight this like gentlemen. And because of that, they were absorbed in was it Swarupya Mukti, thinking of the form of Krishna and Arjuna. So everybody got such wonderful benefit out of this. What to speak of the principal players, such as Bhishma, Drona, Dronacharya, Duryodhana. Okay. When my control panel is covering this. When Arjuna, seemingly polluted by ignorance, upon observing the soldiers and commanders before him on the battlefield, the Lord eradicated his ignorance by delivering transcendental knowledge. May his lotus feet always remain the object of my attraction. So very much absorbed in this Virya Ras, and also, why do we fight? Of course, we can go on for a long time about this in terms of the Mahabharata, but also soldiers. We have soldiers in ISKCON who fought in battles and wars, in Iraq wars, and very, very much. This question comes up again. There's one phrase, there are no atheists in foxholes, and very serious questions. The Kshatriya's Dharma brings you to this thing of why are we fighting? What's the result, and what's the proper way to do it? So Bhagavad Gita, of course, Bhishma Dev is very much appreciating. It's like it's the Kshatriya manual. Fulfilling my vow and sacrificing his own promise, he got down from the chariot, took up his wheel, and ran towards me hurriedly, just as a lion goes to kill an elephant. He even dropped his outer garments on the way. So at one point, Duryodhana was criticizing Bhishma. You don't really love me. You don't really love me. You always love the Pandavas more than me. And you're not fighting against them using all your strength, you know. And then Bhishma Dev said, all right, bring me 5 arrows. And I think it was somewhere in here that that's a little bit different story. But the point was that he was determined to fulfill his vow as a Kshatriya, to fight, to defend the throne and everything else. And because of that, he had to put Arjuna into so much trouble, and Krishna had taken a vow not to take up any weapon. So Bhishma, of course, went after Arjuna with such ferocity that in the end, Krishna had to break his vow, and to show that he'd rather break his vow than give up his position as Bhaktavatsal. Bhaktavatsal. He really showed that was what he really cares about, how much he loves his devotee, even to break his own promise like that. Of course, all these things are long discussions. But Bhishma Devi is remembering this as such happiness and felicity to see what is the character of Krishna when you get down to it, that in the end he'll even break his own vow to save his devotees. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead who awards salvation, may Sri Krishna be my ultimate destination. On the battlefield, he charged me as if in anger because of the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows. His shield was scattered and his body was smeared with blood from the wounds. Okay. At the moment of death, let my ultimate attraction be to Sri Krishna, the person. I concentrate my mind upon the chariot driver of Arjuna. So here's his final meditation. I'm getting older. I'm expecting to leave my body this year. And I can see many things are very helpful. Your memory goes, your teeth goes, your eyes go. And you really start, what can I carry on? I've spread out here for a while, but now I only can carry so much with me. If you look on the internet now, you'll find incredible things of people remembering past lives. I concentrate my mind upon the chariot driver of Arjuna, who stood with a whip in his right hand and a bridle rope in his left. He was very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means. So we can expect Krishna to protect our Sankirtan if we're trying to do something. Those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original forms after death. And then here's a very interesting statement. Let my mind be fixed upon Lord Sri Krishna, whose motions and smiles of love attracted the damsels of Rajagam. The damsels imitated the characteristic movements of the Lord after his disappearance from the Ras Leela. So this is not an uncharacteristic within Virya Ras and Madhurya Ras and different, very heroic relationships with the ladies and the women, and two guys who were maybe in the Vietnam War together after. Where's their friends? They both become lawyers, and every Saturday morning, or maybe once a month, every Saturday morning, they have a real heavy tennis game with each other and just fight it out, And their wives come and watch, and that night they maybe have dinner always or have breakfast afterwards. And then they're joking about it, and then the girls are adding the whole feminine, conjugal thing about it. Or this and that happened, and so on. So Bhishma Dev, his rasa includes the Krishna and the gopis. And what does he know? How much did he know? What was his perspective? Okay, and at the Rajasuya sacrifice performed by Maharaj Yudhisthira, there was the greatest assembly of all the elite men of the world, still very Ras, but now behind the scenes. The royal and learned orders. In that great assembly, Lord Sri Krishna was worshipped by one and all as the most exalted personality of Godhead. This happened during my presence, and I remember this incident in order to keep my mind upon the Lord. Now I can meditate, okay, with full concentration upon that one Lord, Sri Krishna, now present before me, because now I have transcended the misconception of duality in regard to his presence in everyone's heart, even in the heart of the middle speculators. He is in everyone's heart. The sun may be perceived differently, but the sun is one. So now he can take it and concentrate, reading Prabhupada's purport, he can concentrate his mind specifically on his particular Istadevata, worshipable deity, form of which he wants to leave his body and approach and stay with and relish and serve in the spiritual perspective forever. But so now he sees there's no problem looking at this person, that person, everything else, because I can see it's my same Lord, my same Istadevata that I see everywhere. Okay. And finally, text 43. Sri Goswami said, thus Bhisma merged into the Supersoul, Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, with his mind, the speech, sight, and actions. Thus he became silent, and his breathing stopped. John and Maharaj Brikshit will now appear in this atmosphere. So, thank you all very much. I think we finished on time.
Thank you, Maharaj, for this wonderful class. Maharaj, if you have time, can we take some questions if devotee has any?
Okay. Maybe people can raise their electronic hands there. Everybody had become quiet like birds at the end of the day.
Okay, I see one hand raised. If you want to unmute yourself and please unmute yourself.
Okay. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I wanted to ask, if that's okay, which one of the Vasus was Bhishma? Which one? Because they are like fire, air, as far as I know. Thank you.
I don't know. This is a common question. Other people, who are the Vasus, even, right? Even becomes like a question. So the only real knowledge I have of the Vasus comes from Wikipedia. It seems that they're assistants of Indra in different ways like that, and so on. So, and I think also Uddhava or something was also one of the Vasus. The Vasudeva sometime had been a Vasu or something. So I don't really know. It's a real common question. You know, if you'd like to know more about the Vasus. Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj. Any other question, devotees? Anyone else? Okay, Prahlanda, if you can unmute yourself.
Thank you very much. Dhanvat Pranam, Prabhuji, and all the Vaishnavas. Maharaj, I have a question regarding Bhisma Dev. Bhisma Dev is one of the 12 Mahajans as listed by in Srimad Bhagavatam. I always wonder why he selected to be on the side of Kauravas, which are adharmis, and he even attacked Lord Sri Krishna like that. So I understand he is on the on Saivalry kind of rasa or mellow, but this thought always disturbs me. So I need some kind of explanation to solace myself. So if you could please help.
As I understand from Prabhupada's comments in Mahabharata, because he'd taken this vow to never become the king, but to always serve, the king of Hastinapur. And of course, that was Dhritarashtra, So in this whole situation, and Prabhupada said, Kshatriyas, they are stern people. They put aside their emotions and these things, Of course, the question arises, was he actually defending the throne by doing that? He actually was condemning it. So it's a complicated question. In one Mahabharata, of course, Krishna asked Bhisma, he said, can you sacrifice your dynasty to protect Dharma? And then Bhishma Dev says, that's the question that robs my sleep, that keeps me awake night after night. So then Krishna says, okay, there's going to be a dirty game of dice. Something's going to happen. They're going to ask you, what is Dharma? And I want you to give me some charity. And if they ask you if some situation is Dharma or not, you just won't say anything. So it comes to Draupadi's, problems. And then Dhritarashtra says, well, whatever Bhishma says, I'll accept, if she's a slave or not. And then Bhismadeva is about to say, of course, you morons. Of course, it's a Dharma. But then he's remembering his promise. And he says, well, Bhagavan is playing his game. I can't say. Yeah. And their thinking is to define like that. So I guess you kind of got to be there to really understand. So in your next lifetime, you may have the fortune or misfortune to be there when the whole thing is going on. Yeah. But that was basically, I think, probably saying that was it, because he had this vow and he took it, and he felt he had to, support Dhritarashtra. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj. Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj. I see one more hand up. If you can unmute yourself, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. I have one question. We see from the pages of the Mahabharata, as he was explaining earlier, about Bhishma, how he was close. He was one of the Vasus. I was thinking, because Bhishma, from the Bhisma Stuti, we see Bhishma Dev was saying that he wanted his mind to be focused on Krishna. So I was thinking, did he go back to the spiritual world, or did he attain his position back as a Vasu?
As far as I know, he went back to becoming a Vasu, while Krishna was incarnated here, like Vidura and other people also. Maybe they stayed around, but they were Krishna conscious. The Nalakuvera and Manigriva, they went back to their positions, but now they were different consciousness. So again, somebody may incarnate as a Vasu, but he may be an eternal associate of Krishna. And we know he's going to play this role. And Krishna goes on another universe. And so he may stay around for some time. And of course, time is quite malleable when you start dealing with Krishna in different universes. But as far as I understand, he assumed this position again, and now went on, with increased Krishna consciousness. And maybe even while he was in that position, his consciousness was absorbed, in these pastimes he had with Krishna when he incarnated. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Jai.
Thank you, Maharaj, for wonderful explanation and wonderful class. Devotees, if you all can unmute yourself and let's chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 3 times to say thanks to Maharaj. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
thank you, Maharaj. And thank you, dear devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Maharaj.
devotee. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank all of
Thank you,
you.
Maharaj.
Hope this
Krishna.
study is fruitful.
And thank you, devotees. We will see you tomorrow again at the same time with the second class. And I will post the links in our chat groups.
Will we be sent the reading assignment for tomorrow?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, in the morning I will send that first thing in the morning.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, will we get the recording of these lectures and if it is like that, or
Yes. So we are recording all lectures. So we're gonna host them in the YouTube. So as soon as we deploy that, and I will in the same group in our I will share the recording also, the link also for the recording.
thank you.
Thank
That
you.
would be so nice, Prabhuji. I missed the beginning because I was in the website, but then there's a link. Then I supposed to come and I came late. So it would be nice to see the link.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's a link gonna stay same for all of the classes. So if you save this link and you can
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I would like to
Hare
welcome
Krishna.
Professor Rajiv Srivastava, who is
Hare Krishna, sir.
from the Motilal Nehru Regional Engineering College from Allahabad, Prayag.
Hare Krishna, sir. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for joining the class, Dr.
No, it's pleasure, sir. In the best time, morning time to India, and started with new lecture with you.
I really
Yes.
welcome you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Of our group, and I'm thankful for you to join us.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you very
Thank you.
much.
Pleasure.
Thank
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. See you tomorrow then.